This is breaking news from RTV6, working for you.
And we begin with a dark day for the local law enforcement community. A young Metro police officer shot and killed in the line of duty.
Just a short time ago, we learned her identity. 24-year-old Brianne Letha was a graduate of IMPD's 16th recruit class. She'd been on the force for 2.5 years and was known for her community involvement and compassion. Our team coverage begins tonight with Cameron Riddle live at Eskenazi Hospital. Cameron.
Hey, Mark, good evening. Yeah, this is obviously a very tough day for the IMPD family. Just in the past hour, it has been announced that IMPD officer Brianne Letha, a 24-year-old woman, a veteran of 2 years on the force, was shot and killed this afternoon while responding to a domestic violence call. But despite the best life-saving efforts here at Eskenazi Health, she has been pronounced dead. It was a scene that if you were along the highway this afternoon, you would see a parade of red, blue, and white police lights making their way on I-70 toward here downtown at Eskenazi. In that was the body of Officer Brianne Letha. What we know is that at 2:46, she and 2 other officers were responding to a domestic violence call on the city's east side near 21st and Franklin. Before officers could even engage with the person that they were called there to check on, Officer Letha was shot and killed. The other 2 officers who she was with pulled her down the stairs and got her out of the way of what could be more harm inside of that apartment complex. Again, this was a woman who had just been on the force for 2 years. She was a mother and a graduate of Southport High School. The city leaders here in the middle of a pandemic, already occupied with so much, definitely are with heavy hearts this evening. Just in the past hour, city leaders, including the mayor, the police chief, and the leader of the Fraternal Order of Police, addressed the media and had this to say.
For so many of us, danger is a thing to be avoided. Not so for Officer Brianne Letha. That's because rather than turn away, Officer Letha turned toward the danger. She heard the call, and she went bravely toward that which could do her harm. Because she knew if she didn't, harm may come to others.
And that is exactly the order that she went in and doing her job, and it took her life, killed in the line of duty. We've learned she's only the 2nd woman to be killed in the line of duty on IMPD's force. The mayor there, obviously with a heavy heart, talking about how Officer Letha had wanted to be a police officer since she was little. Her father is on the sheriff's department team. Her mother was a longtime dispatcher. And so with that said, as the police family, as well as her family, are mourning her loss, the mayor is asking the city to come together tonight at 8 o'clock and remember her dedication, as well as move flags to half staff. We are working to learn much more about the legacy that she leaves behind and how we move forward from here. We will have that for you here on RTV6 News and theindychannel.com. In Indianapolis, I'm Cameron Riddle, RTV6.
Our team coverage continues. Cameron, thank you so much. As tonight, a city is in mourning. Officers and a family is heartbroken. Let me take you back live to the city's east side. This, of course, is the Wellington Village Apartments. Brianne Letha fatally killed here at this location on the city's east side at 2:46 this afternoon. And tonight, she's being remembered as a hometown hero. Police officers are already receiving black armband badges and vehicle badges to honor her memory. It was 6 years ago. That's the last time that an IMPD officer was shot and killed in the line of duty. That was 6 years ago, back in 2014. I'm talking about IMPD officer Perry Wren, who was killed in a shootout with Major Davis III. Major Davis III was tried and convicted Officer Wren's shooting death happened back on July the 5th of 2014. And then in 2013, Officer Rod Bradway was killed responding to a domestic disturbance, eerily similar to what happened this afternoon at the Wellington Village apartments on the city's east side. Again, Officer Brianne Leith was a veteran of the Indiana National Guard. She was an officer with Metro Police. She was a mom. And her family will have the final say about her funeral. But right now at 6, we're getting some early indications on what that may look like. The Fraternal Order of Police telling me that it's ready to coordinate what it calls amended services, but full honors. What does that mean? The FOP is already reaching out to law enforcement across the country who have had a line of death duty during the COVID-19 pandemic. The FOP says Officer Leith will get full honors, which includes the Honor Guard, the Flag Guard, the caisson, and TAPS. All those people involved in that funeral procession, that funeral ceremony, will have to, of course, follow social distancing and may also have to wear face masks if necessary. Of course, that will all depend if the family wants a public service, but they're on standby to get that done. Tonight, though, an officer is on guard outside of Officer Leith's hospital room. That officer will remain on duty at post until Indy's hometown hero is buried. That is the latest from here. Mark, now to you.
Raphael, so heartbreaking, and our hearts goes out to her family and to her young child and everybody that she helped along the way. We understand she was very community involved. Raphael, thank you for your live report there. Tonight, many Indianapolis landmarks will light it blue as part of a national movement to recognize those working on the front lines in the fight against COVID-19. And as the mayor just said, all of our first responders, and especially Officer Leith, tonight. Now, this is what Monument Circle will look like. They tested the lights last night. Lucas Oil Stadium, Eli Lilly, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the airport, and IPL are just a few taking part. You can join in too by turning on a blue porch light. Again, Indy is going blue at 8 o'clock tonight.
And switching gears now, the latest on the coronavirus and its impact on Indiana. 245 Hoosiers have now died from COVID-19. That's the latest tonight from the Indiana State Department of Health. Total confirmed cases in the state now stand at 6,351. And the COVID-19 pandemic means fewer cars on the road, and that means fewer people are ending up in crashes. Call 6 Investigates finds that car crashes in Indianapolis and Marion County dropped by 24% in March compared to March of last year. There were also big drops in the number of injuries and deaths from car crashes year to year. And with the roads more empty, you may be tempted to drive faster since you have more room. But IMPD reminds you that you still have to obey the traffic laws. And because you are driving less, a consumer watchdog group believes your car insurance company should give you some money back. The Consumer Federation of America sent a letter to the Indiana Department of Insurance. The letter is asking the department to pressure auto insurance companies to give some relief to customers. The state insurance department told Call 6 Investigates that some companies already are offering rebates or other cost adjustments, but the Consumer Federation says dozens of other companies have not.
I just wanted to share my story because I didn't really see a lot of individual perspectives on people who had firsthand experience kind of dealing with the virus.
Elliot Choi is a college student from Carmel. He's back home from a study abroad trip cut short by the coronavirus pandemic. Now Elliot is sharing with RTV6's Cornelius Hawker what he experienced in Spain and how he likely had a case of COVID-19 himself.
This is video of Elliot Choi getting swabbed by a Spanish healthcare worker to see if he has coronavirus.
My roommate Luke and I both had a fever for like 2 days. I had chills. I had a headache, sore throat for about a week.
Telltale signs of the virus, which makes sense because he and his roommate hung out with someone who tested positive. Elliot's 2-week quarantine in Barcelona, Spain began as the pandemic got worse.
A week ago, we had 200 cases in Spain.
Yeah.
And now what is it at? Yeah. It's like over 2,000 now.
As cases and deaths started to rise, so did the anxiety of Americans in Europe facing travel restrictions. But thankfully, Elliot made it back home. That's where I talked to him in his room, where he quarantined himself for another 3 weeks to keep his family safe.
Being in Spain and seeing that, everyone in the Barcelona airport was wearing a face mask, and then coming to the U.S. and seeing that even the airport employees weren't wearing any protection. That was really kind of surprising to me, and it made me realize kind of the difference between the general sentiment about the virus in Europe versus even here in the States.
With more than 700,000 subscribers on YouTube, Elliot knew it was important to share his story to get people to start taking the coronavirus pandemic seriously.
It's just important to do your part and stay at home.
It's been right around 3 weeks since he took that test in Spain, and he still hasn't gotten his results. He tells me he doesn't think he ever will. And back here in the U.S., he tried to get tested, but he ran into roadblocks like lots of folks are. He was told that it had been too long since he had symptoms, since he'd been in contact with someone who was positive. And he was also told that the place where he was trying to get tested actually didn't have any tests. Working for you, Cornelius Hawker, RTV6.
The COVID-19 pandemic is impacting real estate. RTV6's Alyssa Donovan spoke with a real estate agent about the long-term outlook of coronavirus on the housing market.
Local realtors are paying close attention to the coronavirus outbreak and say when it comes to impacting the housing market, it all depends on timing and just how long this pandemic is going to last. Jason Krause is a real estate agent with RE/MAX. He says there are fewer people listing and buying homes right now. Those that are have very specific needs. And buyers are opting to view homes that are already vacant for safety reasons. Agents turning on all the lights and keeping doors open to limit contact. The ability to do 3D virtual tours or view pictures online is more popular now than ever, with some buyers purchasing property before setting foot inside. Cross says as of now, he feels the market will pick back up. But if this lasts much longer, then they may have a problem.
The longer that people are out of work, the less likely they're going to be in making a large purchase, right? Or a large move like a sale. It might be more comfortable to stay with what you know your mortgage payment is and stay put for a little while. So I can see the longer that this goes on, we may have sellers who, had the luxury of moving, decide that out of necessity, they're going to stay a little bit longer.
One thing they have lost is the ability to sell homes for above market value. Before the coronavirus outbreak, if a home was listed for $250,000, they could maybe sell it for $260,000 or $270,000. But Krause tells me right now, most of that negotiation tactic is off the table. I'm Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
And quite a change in the last 24 hours. As you know, we're 34 degrees colder right now than yesterday. 45, that's our temperature with the light rain showers. I wouldn't be surprised if we have a report where we have a snowflake that mixes in across central Indiana. Temperatures tonight will continue to fall. There's the freeze warning. I'll have details on how cold for the morning. And that's not the only morning that will be below freezing. That's coming up.
The bottom has dropped out of the economy in many places, but coming up next, one company is seeing a huge increase in demand, and as a result, they're looking for more workers. We'll be right back.
This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
RTV6 is committed to connecting you to job opportunities through our Hiring Hoosiers initiative, and that commitment is even more important as a record number of Hoosiers filed for unemployment during this COVID-19 crisis and the stay-at-home order. Thankfully, as some businesses slow, others are picking up pace, and we have some local companies looking to put unemployed Hoosiers back to work during this crisis. Lauren Casey explains how one mobile farmers market seeing a huge increase in demand for services.
Market Wagon is an online farmers market that delivers.
An Indianapolis business is booming during this stay-at-home order.
So we help local farmers and artisans list their products online, be able to get them available to order from local consumers, and then we deliver that to the consumer's doorstep.
Market Wagon connects you to your local Hoosier farmer. As some grocery store shelves are bare and people try to limit their trips away from home, the online service with a strong local supply chain is ready to meet the need.
Over the last 3 weeks, our company's grown by over 400%. To date, we've hired well over 100 new temporary workers.
And Market Wagon co-founder and CEO Nick Carter tells me they are still hiring temporary help.
The vast majority of what we've been hiring has been people in the service industry, but there excellent. They take really good care of our customers. As we've hired drivers here, we've had farmers saying, hey, we also need hands to help us with packing or picking up and driving routes of our own. Can we share employees, or can we also give hours to those people who have been a lot of times out of work, restaurant workers and things like that. So it's been really great for everybody involved.
Workers like Troy Hanna.
I get to put headphones in and listen to music, and that helps me get my day going a little faster, which is fun and kind of takes your mind off of things for sure. But then typically what my day looks like is I walk in here and we put the bags on the shelf first. Then we put we call them order tags, but we put the order tags on the bags. That's typically a Monday and a Wednesday. And then Thursday is the chaos, which is fun. That's when the farmers show up.
The work days for this product specialist for an AV company look a little different than before thanks to the coronavirus.
I was unfortunately laid off. It makes your head spin. I've never personally been laid off from a job or even let go from a job before, so it was a very, very new experience for me. And it was one of those, it took a while to sink in.
But Troy didn't let that news become a setback, and he got busy right away.
I was let go on a Friday, and on Saturday morning I was out hauling mulch with a friend of mine who's a landscaper.
And now he's keeping busy with Market Wagon. He says he's met so many new people, and the environment here is very positive. His best advice to others in his shoes right now is to reach out to your network of friends and stay busy.
It helps take your mind off of things and keeps you busy.
And that was Lauren Casey reporting. Market Wagon is not only providing temporary work for people laid off due to the pandemic, but the service also helps our Indiana farmers and artisans be able to distribute their supply. Some of those farmers do a lot of business with local colleges and cafeterias that are now closed. If you are interested in applying for a job with Market Wagon, you can find more info on our website at hiringhoosiers.com. There we also have info on how to place an order and support local farmers. Kevin.
Last night it was all about severe storms, and one tornado, a brief tornado in Morgan County, has been confirmed by the National Weather Service. Winds of 100 miles per hour. That was just before 9 o'clock, 8:43 to be exact. It spent less than a mile on the ground. Tonight, it's about showers and much colder temperatures. Temperatures in central Indiana, they're going to be in the 30s by tomorrow morning, and that's going to be a game changer and bring with it some freezing conditions. There are the showers, and don't be surprised if we actually see a couple of snowflakes mix in there. Please report that to me if you see something like that. 42 in Tipton, 52 in Bedford, but remember, temperatures south and west of Indy were in the 80s yesterday at this time. We hit 79 in Indianapolis. The wind will calm down. I'm anticipating your question. I'll get to that in a second. 24 mile per hour gust right now in Peru, 33 in Indy. What will happen with the winds tonight? That's the question I was anticipating. They will calm down, but not a whole lot. They'll just gust in the 20s through the evening hours and overnight hours, and it will be a cold wind too. Temperatures, they'll drop into the lower 30s across all of central Indiana, and this is not the coldest forecasted low temperature in my 7-day outlook. You'll see many opportunities for temperatures in the low 30s. 40s tomorrow. Again, with a northwest wind, it won't be as strong, but with sunshine, these temperatures will still feel quite cold for this time of year. They're well below the average, which is 62 degrees. Temperatures will bounce back as we go toward Easter weekend. Let's talk about Easter. Chance for rain is there. Periods of rain through the day. It's the warmer of the 2 days over the weekend. Let me take you to the 7-day forecast, and you'll see what happens. Many cool mornings in the 30s. Our peak temperature comes with the rain on Easter Sunday. Then highs 3 days in a row to begin next week with the daily chance for showers will stay only in the 40s.
Working for you.
Now a story about Hoosiers working together. A florist unable to sell dozens of flowers let a new option take root.
RTV6's Rafael Sanchez brings us some petals positivity from Johnson County.
Morning.
Good morning.
A budding idea blossomed into a welcome surprise.
I have some pretty flowers here for you.
Thank you.
I'm standing on the shoulders of lots of folks who have cared about me and loved me, so it's time to give back.
John received a call from J.P. Parker Flowers in Franklin. The florist had dozens upon dozens of flowers meant for events and funerals no longer happening. Instead of throwing out those flowers, the business emptied out its cooler into John's vehicle.
And then I just work my magic on my kitchen table.
From his basement, he brought up vases of all kinds, ribbons of all colors, and lots of wiring. All the ingredients to bring these buckets of flowers to life, ready for curbside delivery as bouquets.
And I kept a social distance, so I just put their flowers on the doorsteps so they didn't have to be afraid of any exposure. So yeah, they were absolutely delighted.
John also happens to be director of counseling at Franklin College. Discussing mental health at this moment can be a thorny topic among strangers, but he believes it can be addressed through acts of kindness.
Quarantine tends to isolate us, and it just increases our stress levels. So just doing for others will lift you up.
He's received notes and videos thankful for the bouquets. Petals, lots of petals, powering positivity during this pandemic.
And that was Rafael Sanchez reporting. John was able to make 19 deliveries to people around Johnson County.
And spring flowers may need to be covered here as we go through several occasions in the next week where temperatures will be around the freezing mark in the morning. Lots of sunshine tomorrow. We recover only into the middle to upper 40s for the afternoon high. Temperatures moderate just a bit as we head through Easter weekend. It's Sunday where showers are most likely. Mark and Amanda?
All right, Kevin, thank you. And thank you for making RTV6 your choice for news tonight.
Our next newscast is tonight at 11.